Hi, I'm Tereza from PotomacBeads. Today we will work together on Surya Beaded Bead, which is designed by Nela Kabelova, who creates amazing beaded beads. This design has a great advantage. By just changing a few beads you can get different looks. We'll be working with MiniDuo, Half Tilas, fire polished beads and Miyuki Seed Beads. So let's gather the beads and start working. Today we will be working on the Surya Beaded Bead, which has many layers. You have to first bead the base and then you embellish it in 2 layers, which gives you amazing options how to vary this design using one tutorial. And then you can have a necklace which is made from different beaded beads but is actually the same. So we will be working with wildfire thread. I actually cut a long piece, a bit longer than an arm span, to be comfortable and have enough for one bead. And for this beginning you will put on 8 MiniDuo beads. Don't forget to check the hole since it's a 2-hole bead. I'm using size 12 needle also, and slide down the MiniDuo beads to the end of your thread. Leave 10 cm tail and make 2 or 3 knots to create a circle. Now go with your needle through a MiniDuo next to the knot and then step up to the upper hole of the same MiniDuo to get to another row. Now we will switch to Matubo 8-0 beads. So always pick one 8-0 and go to the top hole of the MiniDuo. And like this, add 7 more beads, and when you're adding the last one, go also through the first MiniDuo and then step up through the first 8-0 you added in this row. So your thread will be coming out of this 8-0. So my thread is coming out of the first 8-0 I added. Now we'll be adding fire polished beads with 4mm size, and we will be working with right angle weave. So put on 3 4mm fire polished beads and go through the same 8-0 bead but from the other side. So that's your first right angle weave segment, and now we will be adding one segment above each Matubo 8-0. So to do that, go first up to this fire polished, and now we will be of course adding only 2 fire polished beads. So go to the 8-0 and then you need to get to this bead to add another segment. So finish the second one and travel through the beads to the one fire polish that is on the side. We will again go to the 8-0, add 2 more fire polished, go again to the 8-0, that's your third segment. To add the fourth one, go again to this bead on the side, and like this finish this row, adding always now 2 fire polished and at the end only 1. And this is the point where you will be adding the last fire polished. So we will be adding only 1 here since we already have 1, 2, the second one being the bead from the first segment. So I'm adding only 1 fire polished and going through this first one, the Matubo, and up. And to step up to next row, you need to go to this fire polish, the last one we actually added. Make sure you have everything is tight, that your tension is nice and there's not much thread showing anywhere. And we will repeat actually this in another row. So I will be putting on one fire polished, one 8/0 and another fire polished, and I will be going through the same bead through the other side. And I will do the same thing around the whole row. So to create the next segment, we need to again get to the bead on the side. We won't be picking two fire polished anymore, but always an 8/0 and a fire polished. And then you will go to this fire polished bead from the previous row, pulling tight, and up through this shared bead. And then you need to get again to this bead on the side, so go through the 8/0 and the bead. And like this, add always fire polished and an 8/0 and finish the whole row around. And the last bead you will add is 8/0. So your thread should be coming out up from this fire polished, and we will close this row with the 8/0, coming around through the fire polished. But before you pull and close completely the row, we need to insert this clear bead form, which is an acrylic plastic bead which will support the inner structure of the beaded bead. So insert it inside. What you want to keep an eye on is that the hole of the beaded bead is actually at this spot in the hole between the MiniDuos. And now you can pull. I was adding the 12mm clear round. They come in different sizes, 8mm, 10, 12, 16 and more. And for this one we are using the 12. And now we will be closing also this side with MiniDuo. So your thread should be coming out of the 8/0, and now between each 8/0 put one MiniDuo bead. So you will have 8 in total, and then we will close it at top. When you're adding the last MiniDuo bead, continue also through the Matubo 8/0 and through the first MiniDuo bead you added, and then you step up to the upper hole. And now you need to connect holes of all the MiniDuos to close the ring. I recommend going through the holes at least twice to make sure that everything stays nice and closed. So I went once, and now I will repeat and go for the second time. Again, check that the hole of the bead inside is at the correct position. You can adjust it. You can either use a toothpick or something like that, or I'm using scissors to just put it back into the middle. And this is the base. So if you even like it like this, you can leave it, and it can be one of your beaded beads on your necklace or for your earring. And this is the base we will start embellishing now. So to start adding the embellishments, you need to step up back to the upper hole of the MiniDuo and also go through the 8/0. and I will be adding 11 O's, 15 O's and half Tila beads. So start with the 15 O, then add one 11 O, half Tila, one 11 O and one 15 O. So this is what I have on my needle, and go to the fire polished here in the middle, and you want to go from the same side you are exiting, like you are exiting from the Matubo. So like this, and then you put on the same again, 15 O, 11 O, half Tila, 11 O and 15 O. So I have the same like I had, and then you go up to this 8 O Matubo again from the same side like you are exiting from the fire polished here. Pull, and now we will go back. So we will add one 15 O and one 11 O, and then you go to the empty hole of the half Tila, don't forget to pull and make sure that there are no threads showing between the beads. Then put on one 11 O and one 15 O, and go through the fire polished bead here in the middle from the side you haven't used yet, so we are still staying on the other side. Now we switched places, we went to the other side, and I'm adding 15 O and 11 O, and I'm going through the empty hole of the Tila, and then I pick 11 O and 15 O, and I'm going through the 8 O. So you created a strip from half Tila's 15 O's and 11 O's, which is connecting the Matubos, which are above each other in a line, and going also through the fire polished bead in the middle. And you will do this 7 more times, but first you need to get to the next 8 O. So go through the it's a bit difficult, so watch out, but you want to go through the top hole of the MiniDuo and to the Matubo 8 O, and from here you can start again threading 15 O, 11 O, half Tila, 11 O and 15 O, and continue like this, like we did here, 7 more times. After you finish the last embellishment, your beaded bead should look like this, and your thread should be coming out of the 8 O bead here. So you can also stop at this point. You have a nice beaded bead which will go well with this one, which is the same, and it only has one extra layer which we will do now, and it's the layer of the 15 O's and the MiniDuos here, the silver ones. And if you want to make a necklace, you can make both and put them on next to each other. They will match perfectly, but you will have 2 different looks. So as I said, the last layer is coming up. So when your thread is coming out of the 8 O, go through the 15 O, 11 O and the half Tila. Add on 15 O, a MiniDuo, check the hole, 15 O, MiniDuo, check the hole again, and a 15 O, and go on the other side, I mean through the top, half Tila, 11 O and 15 O. And after that, after the half Tila, 11 O and 15 O, you need to turn around and go back. So go through the 8 O here at the top and go back to the 15 O, 11 O to the half Tila. Pick 15-0, go to the first MiniDuo, then pick another 15-0, go to the second MiniDuo, and pick a third 15-0 and go down to the 11-0, 15-0, the half tila, and then you need to get again to the next embellishment. So like we did in the previous layer, go through the 8-0, and then you need to get also through the MiniDuo and to this 8-0. It's getting a bit tough because you went multiple times through the beads, and if you have everything tight like I do, you might struggle a bit, but I already finished one beaded bead and it's totally possible. So I will have to play a bit with this now, but my goal is to get here to the 8-0, and I will be adding these bridges over the 5 polished bead in the middle, and after that the beaded bead is actually finished. After the last embellishment is added, you can find a thread between beads and you can make a knot and tie your thread. So I will do it here, for example. So I'm making a loop, going through it twice and carefully tie it up, and then I will go away from the knot, and then I can cut my thread somewhere. I will also hide this end somewhere here in between the beads, and after this the beaded bead is finished. You can also stop in the other like levels or layers, so you can have multiple beaded beads. That's totally up to you. And this is it. This is the Surya Beaded Bead in its full glory. To give you just another idea how you can finish off your beaded bead, so here we worked with the MiniDuo beads, but you can switch them for half tilas, so you would be stringing 3 15-0s and 2 half tilas instead. That's the only change, and it will give you this kind of a look, so you have again something else, and this might be an option. So for me, I plan to create something like this. So you can definitely switch the MiniDuos and try to work with half tilas as well. I chose different color, but you can go also for the same one you already had if you don't want to invest into even more beads. And to give you even more ideas, this is how I finished the necklace. So this is the original Surya beaded bead with the MiniDuos here in the middle. Here's the inspiration I showed you with the half tila, which replaced the MiniDuo here. And these on the sides are the also Surya beaded beads, which are missing the last step, so adding the MiniDuos or the half tilas. This will create a nice cascade effect on your necklace. Then you can strung it on your preferred material. I used a silk cord with because I like that it has the needle on one side, so it's already pre-threaded, and I also like the feel which it gives to the necklace. Then I used in between the beads 6mm pearls, check pearls, and here I used some of the beads which were used on the beaded beads, and I will just add a lobster clasp probably here at the end, and that's it. And that will be the Surya Beaded Bead Necklace. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this tutorial. We thank very much to Nela Kábelová, who is designer of this beaded bead. Her mind is amazing and she has so many designs of these beaded beads. It's amazing. So if you need any of those materials, you can head into the description of the video, where you can click on the links to learn what was used and what you need. and we will be looking forward to your questions in the description below. Let us know what you want to see next. We will be also looking forward to seeing your pictures in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.